All right, out there in CanCast land, you know what? I'm going to fully just admit it right now.
Take two.
We're redoing
Episode 2, take 2.
Okay, all right.
Seems fitting.
We just
Season
spent
2.
Yeah, that's right.
we just spent 10 minutes talking. It was actually 10 minutes and 11 seconds before I looked down and realized I didn't hit the record button.
And it was amazing, like Oscar-winning content.
It was probably the best intro we ever did. We had show sponsor Jacked Up Jigs
Unbelievable.
absolutely dialed. We had all our lines down, and now we have to do it again. This is why we need a real producer.
Well, at least we know what we're talking about now.
We do. So let's back that up. But hey, you know what? Whatever. Like I'm telling you, man, running a podcast is a lot of work.
Well, I never pre-fished for a podcast before, but
Yeah. All right. So here we are, guys. We're at season 2, episode 2. We just got the Chris Tosco episode up on YouTube just yesterday. But it's been on Spotify, Apple. Honestly, probably one of my favorite episodes in a while. The guy he's just such a good human being. Other than he brings his iPad everywhere that rings all the time. But he's just such a good dude. We got a different insight on kayak fishing, which we touch on a lot on this podcast.
yes, we do.
But you just ever like look at a human being and you're like, the guy's in a good headspace. Like the guy's like, he
You know
loves-
nothing about Chris Tosco,
No.
do you?
but like,
Right now, when it comes to fishing, that
That's what I'm
guy
talking
is
about.
in
Oh,
the
yeah.
zone.
this is what I'm talking
He
about.
is dialed.
I don't know anything about Chris's personal life, but I'm telling you right
Yeah.
now, you can tell he's dialed. Like he sat there and he's like, I might win the classic. Like he's not.
No, he said,
BSing you.
I'm going to win the
I'm
classic.
gonna win the classic.
the best thing that's ever happened to the guy is this kayak thing. He fishes by himself,
Yeah.
and he's all in his own head. He does his own thing, and I'm telling you, I talk to him 2-3 times a week. He is dialed in,
Yeah.
and he is ready to go down and win this class.
Probably the best part about that is nobody has to spend 8 hours in a boat with the guy.
Is it that bad? Come on.
No,
Is he
it's
that
not.
bad?
That's all right.
No, he's a good buddy, so we can razz him, right?
Yeah.
His demeanor has changed. I'll say that, man. When I watched your podcast there, like I've known him for a long time too. Not that we've been best buddies, whatever, but in the years of bumping into him on the creeks and
Yeah.
the conversations that we had, and then to kind of see where his headspace is, you're like, bang, he has got some confidence. He's got something's rolling right now. The guy's
Oh,
got
yeah.
some, he's
Oh,
got
yeah.
some
For sure.
momentum.
Well, check out his episode, everybody. That awesome voice you just heard there stepping in. That is our guest tonight, Mr. Ryan Crowley. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. Thanks for
Thanks-
having me. I think I'm more excited for tonight than you guys are.
Yeah, I mean, and this is going better on take 2 than it did on take 1, so I'm happy. So
Nobody's stuttered yet.
before we get into what we got Ryan here for tonight, I want to talk about show sponsor tonight. Sheldon Evans stepped up from Jacked Up Jigs. Sheldon's been a huge supporter of CanCast. He loves the podcast. Basically, Sheldon and his family started Jacked Up Jigs out of their home in Mallory Town in 2022. So still a relatively young company. He builds everything, ties everything by himself. Came to CanCast last year. First show ever. Had an unbelievable show.
Good.
And, you know, I can't speak for him, but you can tell it. I think talking to him, it pumped him up to keep going even more, right? He knew he had a product. He had some sales. And he started coming up with all this awesome stuff. So I used some of his swim jigs last year. He's got awesome bladed jigs. He's got spinner baits, flipping jigs. And something new that Sean's holding came out of his new,
The moping head.
the moping head. Everybody knows about that. After Gussie had one. And there's something about a big blue trophy.
Yep.
But
and
this guy came out with these. He sent us some samples tonight. He's going to launch them at CanCast. So basically a finesse swim bait head, moping head, many different techniques you can use it for. We were just discussing that. Ryan, you picked out something about it you
Yeah,
like.
so it's not just a moping head to me. It's got a goby head on it, and the cheeks on it are kind of wide enough that it's distributing the weight across the bottom, and it's got a flat bottom. So when it does sit on the bottom, it kind of acts like a football head. To tell you the truth, it'd sit there when it landed, but because the line ties on the top and the back, that when you put resistance on the nose, I don't know if you guys can see it. Whatever you put resistance on the nose, and the tail comes up. Right, that's a really nice bottom-oriented bait. I just thought like maybe for a Ned or whatever, something that you could slide along, goby looking. It's got a goby head, man. To me, it looks like a goby. No,
Yeah, for
I
sure.
think so, yeah.
It's got a good hook on it. Definitely sticky.
hook's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, it's super sticky.
It's
Trocar
super
hooks.
Yeah, it looks like it's a trocar. And yeah, so check him out, guys. You're going to be at CanCast. He's working on some awesome stuff just for the show. He's going to be beside another buddy of his, Wham Baits, who's been a sponsor of our episode. They kind of got some collaborations going as well. If not, you can check him out at jackedupjigs.ca. But you would be crazy not to come to CanCast and see him, right? You'd be
Right.
crazy. Like, you're absolutely crazy if you're going to miss CanCast, but I'm biased.
Bring your wallet.
Bring your wallet. Go by and see Sheldon. Not only that, he's making a great product. They do a good job at getting into the angler. So I ordered some swim jigs and a couple bladed jigs off him back in the summer. I had him like the next day, literally. He knows these guys need him for the weekend, for a tournament, fishing, whatever you're doing. He gets it out. They run a tight ship over there. So check him out, jackedupjigs.ca. Check him out at CanCast, and we'll come back and touch on his stuff in a little bit. We're going to run a contest at CanCast, but big shout out to Sheldon and Jacked Up Jigs. So tonight, we got Ryan in studio. Oh, before I get to that, he did say we can keep this stuff. So if you guys want to take one, if you want to take one thing each and leave the rest to me, I think that would probably work best for everybody.
I'm taking this.
So no, I'm kidding, you guys.
I'm in the same boat with you. I'm taking this.
We'll split it up. We'll split it up. All right.
You can take one thing, but you can't have that.
I'll like you know the take a penny, leave a penny jar.
Well, we could put one. We could put one in our bucket.
I'll take this if I can leave this.
Deal.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, that's a deal.
Ryan, what did you bring? Tell us what you bring.
I've been steelheading since I was a child. I've been good friends with Barry Westall and the boys, Paul Rich over at Red Wing Tackle. So I brought a prize pack from Red Wing Tackle, and
Nice.
the American Bait Works boys have been behind me with my little chats that I've been doing, the Spilling the Beans tour. So I got a box of stuff that I've been handing away quite frequently over the last little bit.
So American Bait Works, I'm gonna highlight them for a second. They always seem to. You ever notice a company that always seems to step up in Canada and support tournament angling?
Big time.
So not only that, I got a call from Jason Gramata. He was the sales and marketing manager at American
Great
Bait Works.
dude.
Great guy. I call him a good friend. He's a friend, man. He's just a great dude. And he calls me. He goes, "Hey, how about the first 100 people in each line at CanCast get a free pack of American Bait Works?"
Now we're talking.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I'm like
yeah.
100%, dude. So whether you're in line at the Memorial Building or at line at the Memorial Center, because we're running 2 entrances, you're gonna get first 100 people in each line are getting a pack of baits. That's your price of admission
That's
right
awesome.
there.
Yeah.
How awesome is that?
Thank you, Jason and
Yeah.
America Bait Works.
It's gonna be like those pigeons if you're number 101. You see the pigeons fighting in my reel this week?
I did. That was pretty good. Who caught that?
Woody,
that's
Woody,
amazing.
yeah, Woody sent me some content, and I'm like, I'm going through it. I'm texting like, this stuff is gold, man.
Yeah.
Woody, I mean,
Miss you,
You
buddy.
know what? Woody would have hit the recording button. For
Yes,
sure.
he would have.
Yeah.
Yeah, Woody don't miss much.
Yeah, Woody don't miss much. We miss Woody though. That's
Yeah,
for
we
sure.
do.
So,
Big time.
so okay, Ryan. Last week you started. It was your first of this year, and tell us about this. You call it Spilling the Beans tour. Tell us a little bit about it.
So we wanted to try to get a little bit of focus or another platform on the guys that I call my heroes across Ontario. There's I don't know. I just think there's kind of a lack of venues and there's a lack of a platform for guys. I wouldn't say so much even like me, but like my heroes, man. Like most of the guys that I look up to that are like the best of the best of the best are guys that you don't even fish against anymore, man. I could list 20 names right now, guys that I like. There's things I wouldn't talk about that I would do to get in a boat with them. And you probably wouldn't know half of them. So my Spilling the Beans idea was to highlight that whole scenario and try to, I wouldn't say make right, but I see myself one day down the road, if I keep doing what I'm doing, I keep my head down and I'm successful in my later days of my career. One day I'm going to be that guy, man. And if I'm not that guy, the heroes that come after me are going to be that guy. And it seems like Ontario just kind of ends up in a place where you either quit or you shit.
Yeah.
You know? So long story short, I didn't mean that in a bad way. Whatever. What I mean is that I want to try to shed light on that. And while we're doing that, we're trying to have some fun in the winter, man. Like when was the last time you saw that group of people there?
Dude, it was awesome.
That was an
It
amazing
Did you
night.
get a head count? It's probably 50 people.
Yeah, there's about 50 people there.
And what was awesome about it was there's some serious sticks sitting in the room.
Yeah, there was.
I don't even like you guys. Mr. Mark Hunter was there.
Yeah, he was.
Sean McCall. We had Danny Dunn. We had Dan Miguel from Great Lakes Finesse. That guy's caught some fish.
Yeah,
Wanger. We had Chris Tosco. We had Carl Carruthers. Brad and Mary Thorne. Like we had some people.
Brian
like,
Bickle
Hammers.
came.
Brian Bickle.
Yeah, there was a lot of.
I'm missing people. But
what threw me back the most about that whole thing was cool, all the people that showed up, but there was like some weird like. There's names of people that I'm not going to bring up yet because I've got some things in the works, whatever. But some of the people that I reached out to, the responses that I got from them were like it made me want to do it. Like, and the day that I decided that I thought about the more people like my peers that I talked to that I was thinking about maybe doing something, the more I got but like no one's going to come, right? Like
But-
that's the first. No,
Oh, man.
But
No,
what I was
I'll tell
getting
you.
at is like with who was there. They were
Dude.
listening. Like
Yeah.
these are guys
Yeah,
you
yeah.
compete against.
That
and like,
was-
they were listening.
That was 4 hours of pure information. If you didn't walk out of that place a better angler,
Yeah.
you weren't listening.
So I had to leave
Right.
early, and I drove home, and I was like all thinking fish. Right. So first off, I was trying to. I don't know you well personally yet, but
You're
we're
going
going
to, brother.
Yeah. So here's what I was going through my head. One, is that guy a biologist? Like, does he work for the ministry? Because he knew so much about fish. I don't know if your nickname's Dr. Fish, but it is now.
Yeah, okay.
Okay,
That's fair.
Dr.
Dr.
Fish.
Bass.
Dr. Bass. That's
Dr.
it.
Bass.
Dr. Bass, that's your new nickname in the whole industry. We're getting you a shirt made.
All right.
Dr. Bass. Two, I was sitting there realizing I don't actually suck at fishing. I don't. I suck at knowing the fish.
Maybe that's the biggest thing.
So
right?
I'm sitting there and I'm driving home and I'm beat and I have to drive up north the next morning. And I couldn't stop thinking about it. And I didn't even turn the radio on. I'm going, okay, I do my techniques. I can do this. I can flip, whatever. I don't know the fish well. That's my problem. And you were telling us all about like fish certain times of day, their behavior, their eyesight, their vision. And I'm like, I'm just doing it wrong. That's right. You're doing parts of it wrong. And I
Dissolved
think-
oxygen. Wasn't that?
Yeah, DO
Yeah.
is something that
So-
we talk about a lot. I've got a lot of
Sorry, DO.
yeah, dissolved oxygen. yeah. I don't know. I think that like, isn't that what we do? Like at the
Yeah.
end of the day,
Right.
isn't that like it's all fun? We can all have my wife's got a lot of jewelry in a jewelry box. It looks cool. Like,
Yeah.
you know, there's a lot of guys got lots of, they got nice boats, nice trucks, nice whatever. But like, if you're not taking it seriously, like really the taking it seriously part, you're chasing a species. You should know the species, right?
Yeah,
Isn't
if you're a
that what we-
mechanic, you should know how a car works.
Yeah,
right?
No,
let's
and
say.
it's, and I obviously
It
like,
makes all the sense in the world.
let me back
there's-
up. Obviously we all know like the common things we think about bass, but
Sure.
you're using terms that I had no idea. Like their eyesight. What
Yeah.
I thought I knew about a bass's eyesight, explain that eyesight to us.
Okay.
Okay. So, but before you do that, people, this is going to be one of the most informative episodes we have ever done. So get
Yep.
a drink, get a snack, and listen.
Okay, so you want to let's largemouth first of all. Okay, largemouth and smallmouth both have similar tendencies with eyesight, but largemouth specifically, they see in a monocular fashion. And what monocular means is that they see 2D, which is no depth perception and no three-dimensional perception. So then they see on one side of them monocularly about 50 feet in clear water, give or take, and on the other side they see the same way. When something prey becomes in front of their face, let's just say, for instance, it's the only time that they can see 3D, and it's the only time that they have that depth perception. So when we had our Spill in the Beans tour, I did a little example, let's say, of what depth perception does. And quite simply, it makes it hard for you to determine how far something is away, right? So a largemouth bass, they sit and wait a lot. They use their swim bladder to stay higher in the weeds. Sometimes they like to stay in places where they feel like they're hidden. But that monocular searching, let's call it, that's what they use when they're ambushed and when they're set up. And when something when something gets their interest, they generally turn on that bait. If you watch any largemouth eat anything, generally you see them turn on a bait. When they do that, they're literally going from a 2D look at something to a 3D look at something. So they go from a place where they've detected something that might get their interest, whatnot. When they look at it, they're actually looking at how far that thing is away and getting an idea of what it takes for them to ingest it. And another thing that I gave you guys at the Spill in the Beans tour, I don't want to get into all the Spill in the Beans because I feel like if we bring Dr. Fish out tonight, we're gonna lack on the people that paid the $25 and came to
Yep,
see.
that's
what
fair.
this
Big time.
is all
That's
about,
fair.
okay?
That's
So
fair. That's a
Yeah,
fair
yeah.
statement. But we want a little bit.
I'm gonna give you more. I'll give
Yeah.
you some stuff. So when a bass sets, let's talk about that for a second. When a bass sets up on a piece of cover, do you guys know that a bass always backs into a piece of cover, a largemouth bass?
Yes.
I do now after going to your seminar last week.
Okay, so they back into cover because they feel comfortable like that, not so much because it is the best way to ambush. Obviously, they're looking from a dark place into a light place, which is another reason why they set up backing into cover like that. There's a thing that takes place. Have you ever sat in a light room and looked into a dark room? You can't see into the dark room, but if you sit in a dark room and you look into the light room, you could see
Everything.
fly shit in a pepper shaker at the other side of the room.
Yeah.
So what I'm getting at is when a bass backs into cover like that, they get in a place where they A, feel comfortable and can't be seen, right? And B, they're able to attack prey in a manner that they get that depth perception thing all of a sudden comes into play, right? Have you ever watched a jerkbait swim left and right? Have you ever watched a walk the dog presentation swim left and right? Glide baits are doing it now. Those big swing and glide bait, they run 3 feet left, 3 feet right, 3 feet left, 3 feet right. You know what happens when you're a largemouth and you track one of those things? You know what happens?
What?
3D, 2D.
2D, 3D, 2D. It makes
3D,
sense.
2D. You know what I'm saying? When a bass gets behind that, you don't think about that, but you're triggering something that takes place with that walk the dog presentation that unless you understood that that's how they see the triggering mannerism of what takes place next is the flush. And we've talked about that. I don't want to get too, but I told you guys before, a 3-pound bass can take, it's actually 1.8 liters that they can flush in one flush when they open their mouth. It's a 3-pound Ontario bass. So if you think about what they're able to take in when they track a bait like that, when they're in behind it, when they flush a bait, if it's the 2D, 3D, 2D, 3D, when that thing gets into 3D and they flush, they got about, if you were to consider the size, let's say the diameter of their mouth, and when they flush, for you to bring 2 liters in there, you're talking about 18 inches in front of a bass, maybe, right? When they're behind a bait, when they flush, 18, they're got to be like, let's be honest, there's lots of times when a bass isn't 100% convinced to eat your bait. You know what I'm saying? There's times where a bass is timid to eat your bait, isn't 100% committed to eat your bait. So that flush takes place when they're 100% committed. When they come in behind your bait, they know that they're going to eat it, and they flush. They take all that water. They're like without remorse. You know what I'm saying? And
I saw Sean McCall do the flush at the CanCast social last year.
Oh, yeah.
When Trey's shots came out.
Yeah.
So like that's
we all did a bit of that, to be honest with you, man. I think I don't drink a lot, but I had more beers that night than I did that year. No doubt.
Proud of you.
you
And
did.
I'm gonna try to replicate that this year.
man.
Proud of you.
We'll just
So-
see how it goes.
Yep, challenge accepted.
That's what
Oh,
Josh was
boy.
saying,
So
yeah.
the big difference is between smallmouth vision and largemouth vision.
Okay, so a smallie, that 20-degree dimension on the front of a smallie's face isn't 20 degrees. It's more like 25 degrees. It's a little wider because their face is narrower like a football. You know what I'm saying? You know, they call them footballs, whatever. So basically, the whole concept of this 2D to 3D vision is that it's the bass's body in the way of its eyeballs, right? When you think about it, it can't see behind it, and it can't see below it.
Sorry, is that why like big fish have like bulgy eyeballs?
Sorry, go ahead. Keep on.
The optic lobe in a bass's brain is the biggest part of a bass's brain. Okay, which dictates basically that the visual interpretation of that bass takes place in that lobe of its brain, and in turn, it's the most important part of what a bass does. Bass are visual feeders, man, like 150%. It's actually a lot of times the things that we do as fishermen to try to trigger bites is to combine their senses in order to trigger their bite. So not just to stimulate their vision, but to stimulate their lateral line or to stimulate the scent, pheromone thing. Or there's a lot of things that you use to capitalize on a bite, right?
So you're saying they're not seeing below?
No, they have,
So
a,
is that
blind,
why,
they have
like-
a blind spot, man. Another reason I'm getting at why they back into cover is when the largemouth, it's easier to talk about the largemouth in this manner. The smallmouth, you can take everything that we're talking about to the bank. A lot of times the smallmouth is better at being a largemouth than a largemouth is, and the Kawartha Lakes anyway, and the Great Lakes and whatnot. They're the fish, the ones that, they're pelagic groupers. They eat gobies, they swim together, they eat shad, they use each other to feed, the smallmouth stuff. But when we're talking about the Kawartha Lakes, like we're spilling some beans here, there's smallies that live in the Kawartha Lakes that are better at being largemouth than largemouth are,
So
100%.
with that vision, is that why, like, when you see a fish, and you probably touched on this on your seminar, I think that's probably where I got it. You see them, like, when they kind of come into a bait, you see like that tail kind of go up. Is that just to get the eye line, like the eyesight?
So that's another one. A largemouth, a fish's bottom jaw is called their mandala, and a mandala in a largemouth is a little more extended than it is even in a smallmouth, but they protrude beyond the nose of the fish by just a little bit, and it allows them, when they're eating from that area where they can see 3D, when they flush, everything is directed in and down. So the best place for a bass to eat is actually slightly above its face and in front of it when they're attacking, and a lot of times they'll align for that. What happens when they eat off the bottom is they kind of have to compensate for that. Like I was saying, their body's in the way of their vision. They're a weird shaped fish, like it's not just that fish. There's a million different. Look at a halibut. A halibut's evolved over years to have both its eyes on the same side of its body.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So like fish evolve, whatever. But a largemouth, it's got giant eyeballs. It uses them in that manner, and when it feeds, it likes to have a 3D dimension. So the only way that it feeds off the bottom is to raise its tail up like that and flush off the bottom to get it. So a lot of times you see that tail go up, and you'd almost assume that it couldn't go any higher. You'd think it would have had to have eaten it already, but what it's really doing is getting its nose so that 20 degrees angle where it sees 3D can see the bait, assume how far it is, and engulf the bait, right? Like that's kind of how it goes. Smallies do the same thing, but a smallie's nose is shorter, and a smallie doesn't flush a bait when it eats it necessarily every time. A lot of times you see a smallie's jaw. I was going about this in one of our talks too, that if you were to look one eye to eye, they look kind of like that. Like they got a really stout set of jaw muscles, right?
Yeah.
What happens with them a lot of times is because they're swimming in groups and they're that fish that they get competitive over bait. So if one of them, say, slashes a school of bait and there's 2 opportunities to eat, 2 lucky fish are going to eat and 6 of them are going to be upset that those 2 got that or chase them or whatever. So a smallie uses its jaw to grab bait and get out of there with it. And then when they settle down, they tend to turn it around and eat it or engulf it, kind of, right? And they'll do the same thing with gobies, whatever. It's kind of, I think it's different to know if they're together or not and how smallies feed. But the eyesight specifically is like, the best way to describe it is that a bass's body gets in its own way. It sees 2D off to the side like that at a range of about 50 feet in clear water, and it only sees 3-dimensional when it turns and faces its bait like that. A lot of times you see bass doing this stuff and turning sideways on a bait and whatnot, and they're trying to get a look at it. But like the only bass I ever saw turn sideways on a bait like that had 1 eye on Lake Simcoe years ago on a bed.
So if I don't stop hitting the buffet, my body's gonna get in the way of my vision too. And
the landscape.
I had a question. I lost it now. So let's say like working the bait, like technique would be, I don't know how to word this, but technique is going to be so much to trigger it, but it's almost like you're popping a bait off the ground, tube, something. You trigger it to get it in its eyesight. Like that's got its attention, so it's more, where am I going with this? Basically,
so there's 2 types.
Yeah.
There's 2 types of bites, let's say.
Yes, this is what I'm going.
Okay. One of those bites is the type of bite where a bass has decided to eat something, right?
Yep.
And the other one is quite simply reacting to its environment or what's gone on close to it in close range. A lot of times surprising a fish is the best way to get a bite. And by surprising a fish, I mean, like, have you ever gone through the greenest weed bed of your entire life and you've got a black bait and your buddy's got a green bait that looks exactly like the weed and your buddy's railing them and you're not railing them? You can't figure out what's going on. That a lot of that has to do with that surprise element where you've got that bait close enough to that fish where he didn't even know it came down there. Same color blends in. That blending thing
color
gets you bit, man.
We ask almost every guest, what their opinion is on color.
So
what is your opinion on color?
I have a really simple rule. It's as simple as it gets. If my bait's going to be below the fish, I want it to be either black or brown or some type of a crustacean type, whatever. I want it to, if it's going to be under them, I want the color of my bait to be similar to the bottom, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
If it's going to be above them, it's either white or it's white or it's white, or you use a white one. If that doesn't work,
There you go.
look for a
White.
one.
Wow.
Yeah, that's as simple as it gets for me. And to be honest with you, don't get me wrong, I've got baits in my box that are
Do you have a pink?
three
Got any
colors
pink
and beaten
Senkos?
up.
Nice, yeah.
I got some pink ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
you
do.
do.
I think that so a bass. Another thing about bass's vision, if you're going to talk about that, is the bass don't have a blue cone when they see. Right, their vision is made up of green and red, and that's it. We see blue, green, and red. That's what makes up all the colors that we see. The mixture of everything in the light penetration, let's say, or what's left of the light that doesn't get removed from the color is what we end up seeing. Right, so it's how we see. Bass don't have blue, so at the end of the day, it's all like a variation of green and red when they do see color. But aside from color, what they really see is light and dark, right? The contrast in what they see is it's either bright or it's not. It's either white or it's a version of red, green, and gray, right?
So would you say profile's more important than color?
Yeah, I would totally say that. Yeah, 100%.
So is that like all these new drop shot baits that are coming out? Everyone, it's this bait and that bait, and everybody's just changing the profile a little bit. You think it's just like, is it the fish are seeing something different, or is it just when it gets that close and everything just looks like a flatworm to them? It's just food's food.
Yeah, it's hard to say, man. I can tell you that when you're talking about drop shot, and you're generally talking wouldn't say generally, but in Canada, the drop shot gigs become a smallmouth gig, let's say, right?
Yeah.
It's a largemouth bait too, but smallmouth are a little more receptive to scents. Like they like that. I don't know if you've ever, there used to be, I can't remember the name of we had a scent in our boat. It was a shrimp flavored whatever. I haven't had it in years. We got it from Evo at Pro J's like years ago when we used to be sponsored with the Simex guys. And it was this pasty stuff. And it was like shrimp. It smelled like shrimp, like powdered shrimp. I'm telling you, man, like on Smalley Lakes, if you put that stuff on, you'd notice like you could get bit without, I don't think you need scent to get bit every single time. But I think that if you wear out of school and you throw something down there that smells different than than what it did before, you might get another bite.
So how much have you experimented with bait fuel?
To be honest with you, the bait fuel's the one that I haven't tried a whole lot yet. Yeah. But like I don't think that I think there's a time and a place for that whole scent thing. I don't think you need it every single day all the time. I don't think it's a necessity. I think that it's nice to cover up your scent. It's nice to, if you're smoking cigarettes on your boat or whatever, and you're
touching your blue.
I don't. Depends how long they got to look at it too, and how finicky and whatever. Like if you're fishing for aggressive fish,
it don't matter.
Yeah, like when you get around the ones that win derbies, you just make sure your hooks are sharp, man. Like,
so let's talk about winning derbies.
Sure.
First off, we didn't introduce you properly. We don't just have Dr. Bass here.
Whatever.
We have somebody with a lot of credentials in the fishing world.
Yeah.
So let's take us a little bit through some of your past achievements. What you won, where you fish now. Tell us a little bit about you.
It all started with steelheading, man. When I was a kid, my dad used to take us I lived in Ajax at Duffins Creek, right?
Yep.
So like we were a bike or a long walk from the creek, and I'd skip school, be there. I was there a lot, man. And I can't remember what it was, 2000 and early 2000s. A guy named Chris Curry decided he was going to throw a steelhead derby on Duffins Creek. So like right away, I'm like, I got to be in. This was before I really got into bass fishing. I think like we bass fished, but we didn't we had a walleye boat that we had a 40 on, whatever.
Yeah.
So the first year they had that thing, my dad, my older brother, and I signed up for it, and I think we were like third, fifth, and sixth or something. Like we thought we did pretty good, but like I could see my dad was like that was our creek, right? He wanted So the second.
That's how I felt at the old qualifier there against Mark. That was my lake.
How'd that work out for you?
Not great.
Still waiting for my trophy. Maybe you'll get it the same day as your shirt.
Buddy, there's a ceremony coming for you at CanCast in front of the whole show.
Wow.
You've earned it.
I want to be.
I'm afraid.
I want to be there for that.
I'm afraid.
Yeah, we'll do it at the social.
That social was an awesome time, by the way. I don't think I ever got a chance to say that to you, but that was like out of all the parties I've been to in the fishing,
we're gonna get
that's
into
the
it.
one, man. Hey,
We're gonna get into
It's a
it.
pretty
but-
good time.
But we got it.
Last there. That was like,
We were sitting beside the social committee right now.
Yes.
Yeah, and across from them.
Oh, we're gonna get into it, but we got to go on. So,
Yeah,
so you guys
long
got.
story short, I was steelheading first. This derby came up. We came top 5, whatever the 3 of us did. And I remember my dad saying like unacceptable. Like we're not doing that again. So the following year we signed up again. My dad won it, and
Nice.
I was like astonished because like
Did he retire on top?
pretty much.
Good for him.
Yeah,
That's the way to do it.
So he fished it that year. I think he came out the next year and maybe the one after that or something. And the year he won it, I came second. And then the next 2 years I won it. And then I think I missed a year. I came second or third or something. And I won it again the next year. And like that was my first taste of like
Competition.
but like I like
Realizing you're
everyone-
good at something.
everyone fishes, man. Like everyone casts. We can all go to Port Hope tomorrow. I put a rod in everyone's hand. We'll all get a bite and we'll laugh about it. But like no one cares.
Not everybody.
We thought we were pretty good at catching rainbows, but we didn't. It wasn't. I wouldn't say it was a competition at that point. Like it was between me and my brother or whatever.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it wasn't. And we never thought anything of it. Like I mean, you do, but you don't. Anyway, that was my first taste. Like I got this trophy and my name's on it like 3 times. Every time I go to the creek, someone else is like, Crowley, man. I'm like, hey, man. I was like, I don't know these guys, but I'm welcome to say hi. I know them all now. I go to the creek now and say hi to there's a lot of guys that I say hi to.
You're like the
Port
Wayne-
Hope's a social gathering now, man.
You're
We
the
go
Wayne
there.
Gretzky of the creek, man.
I
Duffin
wouldn't
Creek.
go that far either, but long as, yeah, that's how it all kind of my fishing tournaments and stuff started kind of like that. And then we got into my dad fished for walleye, right? Like he thought he used to call bass swamp maggots. I got a trophy at home called the Swamp Maggot Cup. We had a derby at my cottage every year called the Swamp Maggot. Jimmy Dodds won it one year and stuff. It was a fun gig. Yeah, the Swamp Maggot Cup. You used to call them swamp maggots. So we started fishing the odd bass derby, me and my brother Todd, for whatever it was. We managed to win a couple of them out of that tin boat. And then we moved on to
Tin boat.
Yeah, we had a tinner for a while, man. And then we went down to Ohio and bought a Skeeter, a 17-footer with a 150 on it. Thought that was like the cat's ass. Came back with a Cadillac. I learned a lot about fishing in the tin boat, about like picking an area and learning about like where they would go from there. Like instead of having a bass boat at a young age, you rip all over the lake thinking that you found these 14 awesome docks and these 2 good weed beds and these 3 pad sets and all that. yeah, when you got a tinner like that, you kind of pick an area of the lake, you find some fish fishing while you're practicing, and then you go, okay, like if we come here on the weekend and they're not here, are they going to go that way or that way? Or are they going shallow? What's shallow? Let's go see. If they go in here, where are we going to find them? If they go, there's sand. If they go that way, then they might stay on.
And that's all before the big electronic.
This was like when I was a kid. Like this is like what we used to do, right? Like we'd have 5 or 6 areas within an area, and we'd fish that for what it was worth. And if we got them, we got them. We didn't run all over the place. We had a 40 on the back, right? And then now we noticed that like because we did all that type of stuff, when we go out practice now, like we've got dots from years and whatever practicing on different these same. That's the other thing, like. You go on about being good and whatever, but the realism of it is we've been fishing the same 8 lakes since I started in 2004 or something. I'm like 20 years now in the same Kawarthas lakes, right? So like you're gonna get some spots where you can get a bite, right? After all that, like worst case scenario, I have a really bad practice now. I can still run memories and catch 14 or 15 pounds or something because of all the years of doing it, right?
Yeah.
A lot of guys, like I was saying, a lot of guys quit, man. Some of the best guys have quit. A lot of my heroes have quit.
You think they just get burned out?
I think that they get to a place where they're successful and realize that there's no margin. There's
nowhere to go from there.
You're never gonna be a hero, man. Like we're just fishing. Like at the end of the day, the highlight of my career, okay, is hanging out here going, yeah, I won some stuff. Like at the what do I don't have a.
But you've made some
a Cadillac. I got a room that's got a bunch of trophies. They're gonna bury me with them.
Mark has a trophy room.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, we put them all in one box. It was empty. Anyways.
Carry it with one hand.
No, but like I think too, like maybe some people, and first off, I'll go on record. Like, I'm not a huge tournament guy. I do like 2 a year, whatever. I like to do more, but it's not a place in my life to do it right now. But I love going out and having fun and doing the odd one. We did one last year and we had fun and we shoot the shit and we laugh. And
We did a couple last year.
I think you sit back and you realize too, like the best part about it is just the people you meet.
Yeah, and we joke around like that. Like,
Yeah.
like a good joke in Josh Westrink's boat right now when we're fishing, whatever, is, man, I'm just having a good time with you right now. We do that to each other all the time. Man, even if we don't get another bite, I'm having a really good time, he says.
Yeah.
Like the sun's out. It's beautiful out here right now, Ryan. The birds are I'm having a really good time right now. Like that's like, that'll be a dig for all day long. Right, you want to go try over there, whatever? Well, I don't know. I kind of think maybe we should go over here. There's some ducks and I saw a goose there. We might be able to go over there and maybe touch one or something. That'd be pretty cool. Yeah, let's go over there. Okay, we're having a good day, right? We joke around like that, but like at the end of the day, if you're fishing derbies, you want to win them. You want to try your hardest. You want to whatever. Like,
Do you ever see anybody? You don't have to say any names. Just over the years, like just took it way too seriously forever to the point where they're not enjoying it. People aren't enjoying being around them, and the next thing you know, they're gone.
I agree, I do, but I'd rather not say their names.
No, don't say their names. No. Just, but I mean, have you seen it?
Yeah,
like,
100%. There's a couple of grumpy guys floating around out there that
there is.
There's a lot of talent that's not fishing right now. There's a lot of it, and I hope that stuff comes around. Like there's going to be, who knows, man. You never. The next couple of years, things could change. Maybe it's different times. Maybe things, I don't know. And I don't know the exact specifications of why these guys have taken a step back. Really, other than maybe like I'm guessing when I say that like. Maybe it's just that. Like I can tell you that the guys that I look up to the most are not doing it anymore. They're not. I'm like, and if I ask them, they kind of laugh, right? Like, what's for what, man? $2,000? You want to go bust your ass for 3 days and figure it out for $2,000 or whatever? Like we got to a point with the shootout stuff now when we've been fishing shootout the last 2 seasons. And when we practice for those events, like our practice went from like, let's go figure fish out 2 days, 3 days, whatever, to like, if we're out there for 4 hours and we figure out maybe this is probably what's going on, we do more practicing now the morning of the derby, driving there going, hey, man, if this is what's happening, we probably do this and this and this, and that'll work, right?
Whose iPad's going off?
It's not. I don't even own an iPad, so it's not mine.
Me, no.
Sean.
Is it Sean McCall? Is Chris Tatosco back in studio?
It's probably Chris.
Is Chris here? Did anybody else?
turning my ring
We're all
around.
looking at each other. I heard it in my headphones.
Oh yeah, Dick.
Yeah.
Oh, Sean. Boom. Are you in trouble?
Oh, great. Now we got to start over.
No, we don't. Oh, crap. Anyway, so basically though, like, so basically what you're saying is, and
What I'm saying is
this.
we've been fishing derbies on the same lakes for a long time.
And do you ever think? Okay, so we got 2 subjects coming up here.
Sure.
One, you've got it to a point where you're like comfortable for what you spend to fish shootout with the amount of time you can put in. You realize you feel like you're having a good time for the value.
That's
blah,
why
blah.
that's what we're doing. And we had an unfortunate event there. Like I used to fish with Jay Short. You guys know Short?
Yeah, Shorty. Yeah.
So Shorty's like one of the best jig sticks you have ever seen. The guy, like, I consider myself pretty talented with that thing. And we don't, like, everyone goes on about the jig. We had a long chat about this at my show there about the jig and what it really is, the power of the jig, whatever. And we throw it a lot, but I can tell you that, like, that guy is like, he's got some unconscious nature that I can't even tap into, man. There's days where I'm telling you, man, there's days where I've stood beside that guy and I've watched him flip fours in the boat on stuff where we're in between places, and like there's just the weird, he's got some uncanny ability, that guy.
He's got a cadence.
It's whatever it is, I can't even tell. And guys, the best part about Shorty is he'll fish a club event, he'll put you in the back of the boat, he'll take you with him. He'll go catch 20 pounds, win the club tournament. No shit. And the next time you see the guy, you wouldn't be able to tell him what it was he did that was different than, and you go out with your jig for 3 days after that. You go to the same spots.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, it's funny. I learned a lot from that guy, like a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. More than I care to admit.
Yeah.
Like,
Jackedupjigs.ca. Check him out. Sheldon.
When we started Fish and Shootout, what I'm getting at is because we had all this history, our practices became a day or a half a day. And it became really easy. And the reason that we started Fish and Shootout was because we had an unfortunate event. My brother lost his child, and when that happened, when that happened, we got to a place where, like, not only did that shootout thing make sense, but like we were among some friends and stuff. Todd was in a place where, like, we need to stay busy, you know, like both of us, like that's not something that
I couldn't even imagine, dude.
No.
I didn't know that. Oh, no, man, I feel sick to my stomach right now.
It was a shitty time, man. But like I said, like we learned a bit from it. Todd's like the strongest person you ever met. Like he's the coach on the boat. You know what I mean? Like if you could put someone, I could honestly say that if you fished with anybody in the boat, if he jumped in the boat with you, you would weigh a bag.
Yeah.
If he jumped in the boat with Sean, he'd weigh a bag. Like that's Todd's.
Yeah.
He's got this like weird mojo about him where he
can fish.
It's not even that. He reads what you say. If you're like, I talk a lot when I'm fishing out loud.
Yeah.
What do you think this? What do you think? I want to know. Cause you heard me, man. I got ADD and I'm talking about what I'm probably 3 steps too deep into what actually, you know, is going on in the boat. You don't need to get into that. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, so he's really good at deciphering my BS from what's real. And he's got a way of telling me yeah or no without being a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Right?
I fished I think it was my second or third tournament ever with Todd. Yeah. And we flew right up the river. It was on Scugog. Flew all the way up the river, and then I broke a seat on the way back.
Really?
Yeah.
Jeez, you break a lot
That
of
was
stuff.
me.
You break a lot of
I was just
stuff.
trying to hold on, man.
Did you break
In my
that?
mind, that did not surprise me.
I broke the back seat from leaning back.
I just wondering if you're going to quit fishing full time and put your money into maple syrup operation.
No, I wasn't until today.
I can't believe that happened to you, man.
Yeah.
Honestly, my heart
What happened,
sunk
Mark?
when I saw
Well,
that.
I've got over 5 acres. I've got probably 1,000 trees.
This is at the mansion that we talked about a few episodes ago.
And I had a tree come down, and it occupied the 15 square feet that my maple syrup evaporator sits on. So it crushed the pan, and so it's not over. I'm going to keep going. I'm trying to straighten it out. I pounded it back a little bit, but you know,
We'll make it work. We'll help you out.
we're getting there.
Tin, use this tin.
Oh, I could probably use that tin.
Yeah.
Might be it.
So
That could be the answer.
get back to you, Ryan. So now you're fishing shootout. You're playing the fish shootout this year?
Yeah, so the shootout gig basically became the option. It was affordable, number one. Number two, I'd fished Andy's for a long time, the CSFL, and I still respect the guy. Don't get me wrong, whatever. It just seemed like for us it was kind of the right fit for us for what we were going through and what was going on and how everything was kind of going. Todd and Corey have been buds for a long time, whatever. So we just kind of decided that was
and it worked for you
our
guys.
route.
Yeah, and we're not. And
It's just-
there's lots of great tournament series trails out there. We
There's more of them
promote them.
coming,
We
too,
promote
like-
them all, and there's more coming, right?
Yeah.
And it's just kind of finding the fit that works for you and your situation and all
Sure.
that, right?
Yeah.
So you
Did
guys
you get
were,
to see the show last year? Because you were working the booth all day, were you not?
So the CanCast show, and I didn't really get a chance to walk around a whole lot. We spent most of the time there over at the booth, but we still said hello to everyone, whatever. To tell you the truth, man, like the show itself, I'm in a place with my fishing, whatever, right now where I have about 15 or 16 SKUs that I buy. And I buy the same ones. I've been buying them forever, whatever. But I buy, I need 35 packs of these. I need 100 packs of those. Like that's kind of where I'm at now, right? So the show's good if I can go in there and get a deal on that kind of whatever. And the odd new idea that comes up, everyone grabs something new now and again or whatever. But for me, that show is that social, man. Like that, you guys have no idea. Like the fishing industry needs that. Like we never had that, man. Like even I can't tell you how many times like you work your ass off to even I don't work my ass off now as much as we used to, but we used to work really hard to try to win a derby. And if you won one, did you ever have a party after you won a derby? Like I've never done that.
Well, see, that's what bothers us. You know, you go to these tournaments and right after guys weigh in, poof, they're gone.
They're gone.
Yeah.
You know,
100%.
Yeah.
So we decided to stop that and just have the party the night before.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
No, and so we've said it before, and I hate repeating ourselves on this podcast because we got to stop doing that. But the whole thing was like everybody has to come together. And why it's so cool for me is because in my day job, which everybody knows is Daiwa and Garmin, I'm a sales rep.
and you're a farmer.
Well, sort of, yep. And out of the cattle business though for a while.
Boo.
Is that the formula works when some of my biggest competitors are also my good friends and go, we want to be there. Like we want to be there to support you and support the industry and support the sport and support what we're doing and everything. And like, that's the coolest night at the social.
Yeah, man.
When you can walk in there, and which is open to the public. Like anyone listening to this, you're all invited.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Bob Azumi's sitting at one table. Shimano crew's sitting over there. Daiwa team's looking, balling, wearing suit jackets, walking around.
Right.
We got hot chicks chugging drinks out of boots. Like all this. We got
we
Moose DJing. Like we got
Wanger and Western
last
stinking.
everybody's having a good time.
Yeah. Doesn't matter. There's no badges at CanCast.
And and
Yeah.
and that's what it's all about. And the thing is, we all know we got to go. And there's a business portion to it. The business starts the next day, but everybody there, like guys like Jacked Up Jigs and all the other great vendors and stuff, like they're all there for the same reason. Like, let's grow the sport.
It's a
let's
feel-good
talk fishing.
environment, man.
And I was on the Average Ontario Anglers podcast this week, and that's what they said. We spent 10 hours there and we just talked to everybody.
Yeah.
Like Sheldon's telling me something about a jig I didn't know, and then I walk over to the next booth, and this guy's telling me something about another bait I never knew, or he built, or he's designed, or I go in and saw Vic at Pro Water, and he's doing this and doing. And that's what that show is supposed to be. Like, I want it to be a show from the 90s. I want information, and I want everything for sale.
Yeah, it's an awesome,
Right?
It's an
And
awesome
it's-
show already. It's only going to get better too. Like at some point, that show is going to be like right now. You said you got boats and everything there this year, right?
Yeah, so we got a bigger outside area. Unfortunately, it's not as big as I wanted the outside area to be, but it's about 3 times the size of last year.
So you've added that already.
Yeah,
in
so
your
like-
second year.
So I'm going to start dropping hints now. Boats. We have Skeeter coming. We have Triton and Ranger coming. With like these are the newest models, that new Triton hull. We have Legends bringing a bunch of boats. If you're in the Tim boats, we got Starcraft coming. We got a pontoon boat fishing coming.
Are you dropping the boat?
We have
Uh-oh.
in Canada for the first time, you guys are going to get to see Power Garage there with the Icon.
Yeah.
So we have Icon coming.
Yeah, that's a hot
This,
boat, man.
Peter
this
Bro-
boat is insane. We seen it at the Classic last year.
Yeah.
It was surrounded all day, every day by people.
You could not get a picture of that boat.
It was
You would just get people's backs.
it was unbelievable.
So we got Icon coming, Skeeter, and we also have Peterborough Pro Tackle is a new Vexus deal. They're bringing in Travis Vexus, like done up to it is gorgeous too. Like,
Awesome.
So you're gonna have a chance to go talk to all these boat reps.
So where's that going to be? That's going to be in between the two buildings?
Yeah, so Icon is actually inside. Vexus is inside because they like jumped on right away and supported the show. Like Travis, like I want to be there, and Peterborough's always been a huge supporter of CanCast in their hometown. And like, you know what?
Tackle Bros.
Tackle Bros.
Yeah.
Rebranding. And look, we have amazing retailers at the show. Like we have Taco Depot coming, JB's, Pro J, Mac Attack, Smith's, BJ's. I'm missing somebody here. Anyways, I apologize. We have amazing retailers. But what's awesome, and I want to just give a hats off to Travis and Summer because this is their hometown. And they welcome everybody. Like, come on in. The show, and even though we're bringing competitors in their hometown, they're like, we love the show. We want to support you. What do you need, Kyle?
Yep.
Like, I think that is pretty stand up of them to do.
Yeah, man.
Right? And I just think, like, when they're like something like that comes to the hometown, like, that's cool. I think, you know what? Anytime you need, like, they're always like, how can we get more involved? Like, they're awesome that way. And all the retailers are, but not everybody would be like, if we brought that to another city, not every dealer would feel the same way.
Right.
Even though you should, because you're bringing 5,000-6,000 people to your hometown to go to your store. But
that's a lot of
even last year, like Travis closed the store because I want everybody at the show. So they are going to keep it open this year because there's just so much stuff that he can't bring to the show. But the secret is you go to the show first, you get a little something from him to go back to the store. Probably.
That's right.
Get some info, whatever he's going to be doing, hit their wheel. But like I said, we have so many retailers, manufacturers, bait makers like Jacked Up Jigs, all that stuff is there, and tournament series. We have them all basically.
Yeah,
If you want to talk about, we have Basses coming this year. So
Almost all.
This is it. Almost all of them.
incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and that's what it is. And like I want to hear, and I like meeting guys through it, right? Like it's just how it goes. You meet some cool people
We're
every
excited
year.
for that show, man. Like to be honest with you, it's on my calendar. It's been on my calendar, and it's funny that you said the day that you announced the show, I didn't circle the 7th, man. We circled the 6th.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. Well, guess what? We're gonna drop next. We're gonna
social.
Yeah, man, it's such a good time, honestly. man.
We
It's
already
like,
got-
We don't have enough of that. I kind of want like you don't realize that you've inspired a lot of people with what you guys have been doing. Not just the CanCast show itself, but this whole thing. Like doesn't this feel good? Doesn't it feel good to go
It does.
hang out with the people you've hung out with, the people you've met? You got all these positive relationships. We're all joking and laughing. I'm able to do something where we're doing a bit of a fundraiser and we're having fun with what we're doing now, and it's a social event. All of a sudden, there's a couple social things that pop up, and I think the industry really needs it. Like it's gotten to a point where, like I said, a lot of the talent is at rest. Man, there's a lot of sticks that are in bed right now, and I'm hoping that some of this wakes up.
gets them
masses.
excited.
Yeah,
I want
that's
people
like-
excited to fish.
When we went to the social last year, I sat down with my brother there in order to drink, and within 15 minutes, Coop came in, said hello. I hadn't seen him in whatever,
Yep.
6-8 months or something. He sat down. We had a meal together and shot the breeze.
Did you have to pay for it? Did he stick you with the bill?
No,
Be
comment.
honest.
No,
no, he probably
he's an up and coming professional angler.
he probably just lost his
yes.
phone.
If I had to admit to sponsor the guy for a beer, like I'd be proud of that. Yeah,
He probably lost his
So
phone.
that's a
too.
yes.
I'd buy him 3 beers, that guy, and then like within an hour later, Chris and Corey are in there. These are guys that we look up to. I've been fishing against them my whole life. I beat them a few times. They beat me a ton. I look up to those guys. Those are like my heroes, man. So to spend a night where we all get to talk and shoot that, I'm blown away by it still,
See,
to this day. And I don't think if anyone says anything otherwise, it's a biased opinion or jealousy or
And-
whatever. That thing is a honest to goodness good show, man. That is a good time.
I appreciate that. I'm sure we all do, and it's hours and hours and hours and hours of work. It's
You know what I don't appreciate?
uh-oh.
The early morning the next day.
You know what? Here's a
Be like Mark.
We're gonna change the
He's
rules.
fine.
We're changing the rules this year. We're gonna have our volunteer meeting. I got it all planned out. You don't need to have an early morning.
What do you mean?
You have one job this year and one job only, and that is to close that place down at 2 a.m. and I'm gonna go to bed early so
Oh,
I can
boy.
handle the rest. That's it.
Really?
Yeah, you got
Do you
one
think
job.
he's going to
You
go to
just-
bed early?
I
you
just
get
want
him-
you there by 9:30.
Can you get him a business card that says like social
No, there's no
organizer,
business cards.
social
Can't
committee
cast.
organizer,
Our budget is too
can't
tight for
cast,
business
What
cards.
time
social
are the doors
captain,
open?
team leader.
10,
9 a.m.
9.
Nine.
You don't have to be there till afterwards.
Yeah.
No, I got to be there for the open. I want to see the Jumbotron.
Oh, we gotta get on that. I got a great idea for that. So, anyways, let's go back to Ryan though, because spilling the beans tour. What's the plans? You gonna do another one?
Okay, so yeah, March the 20th is a hot item right now.
Ooh, that's coming up.
March the 20th.
March 20th. I'm writing this down.
Okay, from 6 to 10 p.m. and we're going to be at Baltimore John's in Coburg.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's our restaurant.
You love
right
that,
around
eh?
the corner.
Wait.
I love it too. That's
Like
where
the
we're
one,
going, man.
like that's our
Baltimore
restaurant.
John's.
This is
Yeah,
our
man,
restaurant
on 45. Yeah,
This is where the CanCast podcast started.
this is where
Yeah.
we're going for stop number 2. I hope you guys make it, man. I wouldn't have it any
Oh,
other way.
I'm not-
100%. I
I'm
will
not-
be at every one.
I'm going to be
I
on
love it.
record right
I love
now.
it.
I'm away that day for work, but I'll
I'll
be
be there.
there.
I'll be there.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, man.
When we did-
Any support I can
Yeah.
get. We're doing that whole thing.
No, I'm not-
Dude, that's so
I'm-
close to your house.
You have no idea.
That's so good
When
for
I
you.
when I left your last one,
Yeah.
I talked about it all the way home.
Yeah.
And I talked about it all the way to work the next day, and
I
I,
love
thought
it.
about it all day at work. Like
love it.
the amount of information and the stuff you guys gave up.
Speaking
that
of
was the whole
guys.
thing. Like, how many times have you gone to a club thing and you've listened to someone, and at the end you go, "That was the best 20 minutes of bullshit I ever heard," or "That
Right.
was the, that guy tiptoed around everything, never answered a question. That guy's really good at not answering any questions." Eh? Like so
Didn't
many
want to
times,
give
right?
it up.
I wanted to be the guy that puts those. I want to be the guy if you ever find someone that you want to know that. I want to be the guy you want to talk to that guy. I want to be the guy that asks the right questions. I think that was my whole point. I wanted to put those guys in their place. They put them in a place where they can't not answer what I'm asking. Because there was 3 or 4 times, if you guys saw, like I asked the same question.
Yo,
to the
you
same
pushed
guy
it.
Yeah,
3
you did.
times.
We keep saying guys. Tell us who was on the panel though. For those that
so
weren't there.
we had Rick for cruising.
Yeah.
So Rick for cruising's got like, man, I think it was like 120 top 3 finishes since 1988.
and he
Like way
he
back
quit, and
GM
he
Pro
quit.
Bass days.
yeah.
He fishes now with his wife now and again. You see him, and when you do see him, watch out because he is deadly,
Yep.
like deadly, yeah. And he's been doing it so long. Like the guys I look up to that guy, man. Like the Jared Deans of the world, they want to be like Ricky, man. Rick for Cruising, he was something. There's a couple other big names I don't want to get into yet, but I got some other bigger names that I'm trying to pull out of the woodwork to come to the next one and the one after. So the very next one, I could probably tell you now. I've got Brian Gardy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so Brian Gardy's coming to chat with me at on the 20th.
So Brian Gardy's on our pro staff team.
Yeah, he is an incredible stick. He's another one
Great
of the guys that I
guy,
look up to.
great
in this
guy.
industry.
The Guardian.
Yeah, man.
We call him the Guardian.
Yeah.
He's an awesome fisherman, very dominant up on cooch, and he's kicked my ass a lot, man. That guy.
And a serious pike
Super
fisherman too.
technical.
yeah.
Right?
No,
Well,
just
he's
that,
got
he's a good ice fisherman too. Man.
Yeah.
He's out there on the ice quite a bit.
Yeah.
Or he was for years. We used to go out with him.
I
He's a
always
great
make
guy.
fun of him this last few weeks. He's not working because he got like fourth in the jumbo perch comp, whatever that.
Oh, he's got a check. So
Whatever.
He stays
Sorry,
back.
the name escapes me. With the jumbo perch that David Chong's running the competition.
So I've got him. Dwayne Jacobs.
Oh, yeah.
So Dwayne's coming out for this one. We're gonna have
Yeah.
a chat with him. I've reached out to Joey Mazinski. You know Joey.
Yeah.
So Joe doesn't really do a lot of public speaking events. He said he was kind of not sure whether he was on it or not. And the more we chatted about it, the more he was
He'd be
like,
great.
He's 100%, and I bet you he's the best guest we ever have. He's been quiet to me the years that I've met him, but he's one of those guys that when he does say something, if you listen, man, because he's a smart dude and he knows a little more than he lets on. That guy. So he's gonna be a good guest.
We've been talking for 51 minutes now, and because of the dedication of our listeners, I feel like we got to have a little bit more Dr. Bass come out.
Spill the beans, Ryan.
Hold on. I've also got Mikey Williams Wanger. He's coming out this too. So those four guys are my guests for that.
That's
for that.
awesome.
That's a good panel.
I'm so mad I'm not home.
That's gonna be a
4
good one.
guests this time.
So it's actually 5 guests. I got another guest coming that's not going to be doing as much of a bass talk as much as a musical guest. Yeah.
oh my God.
Yeah.
Gary Williams.
Mr. Curve Lake is coming down to
He's
take
on
care
our
of us
social
tonight, man.
poster.
Yeah.
Have you
So,
guys seen the poster?
He's
Gary's
awesome,
Williams on
man.
it. We're gonna put it up right now if you're watching.
he's one
man,
of my
that's
favorite
hilarious.
humans, that guy. He's awesome. So he's coming out he's going to bring his guitar out, and we're going to have a couple jams in the beginning and, in between, whatever. So it's going to be another fun night. And I've got some other big plans coming up for the third one as well. I'm not going to spill those.
Any
plans just
idea
yet,
of the
but
region you're gonna have that? Let people know.
third-
Like, do you have like a venue already set? Like
for the third one?
yeah.
So to be honest with you, the amount of draw that you guys have going for the CanCast and the date that you guys have that kind of works out to where I'm thinking maybe we might do a pre party beans or something along those lines, where we might do something the day prior in Peterborough.
That's what I was saying
or
that
we
to
might do
Corey
something-
too. I'm like, that'd be balling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
So-
could do it right where we're doing the social, dude. If you want, I can make a call.
Yeah, that's
Shoot us
kind
Joe's.
of we're kind of thinking that. So
Let's
if,
talk.
We actually
yeah.
talked about this.
Before-
Yeah.
to have
Yeah,
it
we were
happen-
talking about it.
Yeah,
to
we
have
did
it
talk
happen
about it.
before the social.
Yeah, that's why pre-social, whatever. If
Yeah.
we could do that, it would get
Yeah.
everyone in the mood or whatnot, I guess, right? I've got some pretty good speakers for that one kind of lined up already as well. So two old school big dogs. If I
Oh,
can
yeah?
bring those 2 guys. I
Dude,
got 2 guys.
drop the names, man. Drop the names, because if you
we're
say it, then
we're
we're gonna get
We're
them.
not dropping those names yet, bro. Come
Come on, spill the beans,
come-
man. We'll ask you 3 times the same question, man. We don't.
Oh my god, this guy's not spilling any
Right.
beans today. Dr. Bass.
Yeah, there's 2. I don't want to spill them. I don't want those names to come out just yet, because the last thing I want to do is put someone in a place where I mention their name and they haven't firm. I want them
Yep.
firm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I get it.
And they're not. Well,
Can't believe you got the Guardian coming to Baltimore.
yeah, man. Him
He
and-
got
March
a new
20th.
game. Yeah.
March 20th, Baltimore Johns.
March 20th, Baltimore John, 6 till 10 p.m.
So
and that's
just so
on
you guys
Highway
know,
45,
Yeah,
north of the 401.
beans will be spilled.
yeah, and I'm not going to lie. When I saw like the hours to the first one, it was like 6 to 10. I'm like, man, like there's no way they're gonna talk for 4 hours. Holy crap!
That was a
You could've-
you could've
talked
for
for 6
I
hours,
looked
no
down
problem.
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
had to
I
leave.
agree.
It was
You could've
not-
went
I-
all day.
I left at
Yeah.
9 o'clock because I had to leave because I was going up north the next day. And I'm like, that flew by. It flew by because it was
it
just
goes
not.
really quick,
And
right?
everybody in that room was engaged and listening.
You could hear a pin drop.
You could hear a pin drop.
Oh,
It was
it was
freaking
really good, man.
awesome.
You got
man.
Jared Dean talking about jig fish, and everybody's going to be
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
just like right in the zone.
The thing that I've heard Jared talk about jigs a lot too. Like I've gone to a few different clubs. I've had chats with him through the years, whatever. And the same kind of thing is like I can't stress enough that like it pat myself on the back, whatever. But the questions that you ask someone like that are what you get out of that conversation. Like at the end of the day, you can ask them what's better, black or green, or what do you like, a 7/16 or a 5, or what, like you can ask
Yeah,
them
yeah.
all that. But until you get into like unless you get in that guy's head with what he's doing with that thing, like he was talking that night about using a 7/16 jig and how you stall it.
It was one
Guys
of them.
don't even know the term. Like,
Dude,
they,
it's
like,
freaking wild.
right.
And what he said, I won't tell what he said to do.
Yeah, that's
It
another
was
good
my
tip, man.
every single person took a trip to that store the next day
Yeah,
or thought about it. Like it was insane.
yeah, and a lot of the things that you, even when you get the answer that you think you get, unless you really get to the bottom of, like, there was a couple of times, even going back to that stalling technique that he's talking about, it had really not as much to do with the free fall rate of the weight of that jig that he's talking about, and it had everything to do with how fast it came towards you when you stalled it. And like, that was the fact of the matter here. Like, what we were getting at is that the fish were eating up, the way that we were describing it, how we went into that conversation, the fact that the beans get spilt until we got into that, like that whole what and how do you stall? What is that dollar store additive? You know, like,
Right.
there's some stuff there that you'd never, he wouldn't tell you that, man. He wasn't going to tell you that when you got there. He wasn't telling you that till I asked him the third time what stalling the jig was, but I know what it is, and I've watched him do it. So I want you guys to know what I know about what I've seen him do, and he won't tell you that. You can go to a clubby, he'll tell you black,
See, there's
9, give it a yo-yo. That's not what we were trying to get at.
He didn't say the what. He said the how.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know
dude,
what I
he
mean?
literally
Gave it up.
told you where to
He
go
totally
and do
gave
it.
it up.
He gave
Yeah,
it
yeah.
up. Dude,
Yeah, he
we're
did.
all doing that this year. We're all trying it.
Yeah.
And I think too, like, I've done a lot of bass talks, and like some of them go like bass talks on equipment, usually like Daiwa, not on winning tournaments, but and
Or
I've
catching a limit.
had many people message me and say, "Hey, that was one of the best presentations we ever had because like you knew your gear, you knew your shit." And there's other nights where I'm off, and I know it wasn't my best presentation, and it happens. But hey, but there's only so many guys that will give you juice, right, about technique and you know, you guys were on Nick Koosfest, man. Every time that guy talks, you are learning something. That podcast is still, you listen to the podcast we did with him, and Nick is doing a seminar at CanCast this year on electronics,
You're gonna want to hear that.
how to use them.
Yeah.
Right? How to look for them, how to set them up. Like, doesn't matter what brand you're using.
Did
He's
you
using
see his
their-
setup on his boat this year?
I helped him with that setup. Yeah.
It's sick.
Yeah. Like me,
It's
so
sick.
with Radio World
It's sick.
and so like, you're not going to want to miss that seminar. That is worth sitting in for the hour
yeah,
because he's
100%,
going
man.
to, and the thing about a guy like Nick and same with JP the Rose, who's also presenting, they have a topic, but those seminars can go any direction. People ask questions, they answer them.
Yeah.
So JP the Rose is another one. He's also doing a seminar at CanCast. And JP came to me and goes, "Kyle, I want to do one on techniques on how to fish from shore better." And I was kind of like,
Makes sense.
I'm not sure about that. He goes, "Kyle, trust me, that's the market." And he goes, "Kyle, trust me, I've been doing this for years." And I'm like, "Okay,
Yeah.
I got you." And then I'm like thinking that's a really good idea. And he goes, "Kyle, you know it's going to go one way or the other, but anything I'm telling them is also going to work on the boat. But these are going to be guys that and whatever
The guys that might not come to hear that
Yeah,
talk
man.
because I don't
Yes.
want to hear what he's doing
Yes.
in the middle of the lake. I don't got a boat.
yeah." So
right.
and
Where's my help?
JP is one of the best seminar speakers you'll ever see.
Oh, the guy's got a
really
memory
is,
like
man.
an elephant.
We had to like literally
He's
kick
a
his
good
seminar.
crazy.
man. He
Yeah, we
really
had to like
is.
kick his seminar out of the seminar room last year. They had to go to the back and keep talking so we could start the musky one. Because like the people were just, and that's the thing, guys. Even if you're like, "Hey, this topic, you know, Nick's is going to turn into fish and smallmouth.
Oh, yeah.
You know, JP's is going to turn into fish in any species you can bring
Yeah,
up, and it's
that's
going to
right.
switch and switch. And then, you know, they're both going to take you down to the show floor and help you find something, because that's the kind of dudes that they are. And that's one of the things that I felt with your presentation. First off,
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know Ryan, got to get to know him. This guy's brilliant. I saw Josh Westerdink.
Western penis.
You threw it in there.
Love the guy. I saw him. I saw a whole different side of him I've
so
never seen before.
He's a really good
right?
right? man. That guy's got
Dude,
he's
he's
got an uncanny ability to catch. Like, I've gone out with him on many days as well. I talk about Jay Short. Josh Westrink's another one where he's got some sixth sense. man.
He's got
But
a
you,
cadence
but you
as
saw
well.
you saw another
he does,
whole, for lack of a better term, you saw another whole.
He was
professional
asking a
side
lot
of
of
him.
questions too.
Jared-
though, if you noticed,
Jared-
eh? Like, it seemed like
Yeah.
towards the latter
the
part
pan
of
was
it,
great, man.
Josh kind of keyed in on
Yeah.
a couple things that he was like, "I need to know the rest," and he was
Right.
Yeah, he was asking. He was
followed
picking
suit.
If it
brains.
was
Yeah.
if it was me, if you want, you should take this board and you should record it.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, like it would be wicked to have it on. Like we would upload it on our channel. Like
So
it
there-
was so good.
My
Yeah, but
The-
you got
the-
guys paying for it.
That's kind of
Yeah.
where I'm at, right? I'm trying to be loyal to the ones that came out. Like,
No,
the
100%.
The guys that
I'm just
showed
saying.
up like that. I don't just want to give all that info to
But
everyone. And not
Yeah.
only that, but like I can honestly say, Kyle, like if the four of us sat in a bar and there was no one around and you wanted to know the beans about whatever, like we
You'd
didn't
give it
even,
up.
we never scratched the
Yep.
surface on an 8. Like I had to move on a lot.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you can't, like there's
No.
days where I've talked to Jared about that hovering strolling technique. Like
Yeah.
that's, guys are doing that. They're doing it now with spinning rods and jig heads and minnows. We've been doing it with flipping jigs in vegetation for like, dude, since like 2005.
So
or whatever.
you've seen a lot of good guys fishing canned over the years.
Yeah.
How many of our guys could go down and fish with the elites if they had the money to do it, to go do the, like, how many of our guys got what it takes? You've beat Chris and Corey before.
Sure.
I'm not
Yeah.
saying you're saying you're good at, or I'm not saying like anyone's saying they're
Like
better
the-
than
the
somebody,
guys
but who
that
could do it
guys
week
that
in and
could
week
go-
out? Not
guys that
just
could
once.
Go down there and hang with them.
Hang
if
with
you know
them
what I mean.
week
I
in
don't mean
and
like,
week out.
yeah, I'd say there's 15 or 20 guys probably in Ontario that could do that, and probably 10 that I don't know about. You know what I mean? There's some other good. There's guys out there. There's kids right now that can scope their ass off. They'd make you look stupid.
So I was talking to Cody Meyer at CanCast. We may have touched on this last year on an episode. I'm talking to Cody Meyer, and I think he's in the opens this year. Is he not doing them?
Yeah.
Okay. But at the time in the summer, he wasn't. And as you guys know, they all made the switch over there to MLF, and I don't think a lot of them were. It wasn't
Yeah,
really,
there's a
didn't
lot of
really
change
turn
going
into
on
what it
there.
was supposed to be. And we were talking, and he goes, honestly, I don't think I can go back to bass because he goes, I don't think I'll qualify. He goes, because those kids coming up are that good, right? Danny's taught. We talked about it with Danny McGarry. He's down there right now. He goes, like Cody Meyer said to me, he goes, Kyle, the kids coming up are way better than all of us were. And it's not just because of forward-facing sonar. It's like everything. They're on YouTube. They're going to seminars. They're on YouTube
man.
figuring stuff out. Like you're spilling the beans. These kids now are going on YouTube and typing in how to flip this jig, and somebody is giving them the juice.
Yeah, some of the juice anyway.
Some
yeah.
of it.
Yeah, the information out there for them
They
and the opportunity for them that
Yeah.
wasn't around back in the old day. Like the
Exactly.
college teams, high school teams,
Yeah.
clubs.
Yeah, dude. Like it's.
Right.
And
Well, you look at the Elite Series this year and go look at how the rookies have been doing.
They're killing it, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
Look
Yeah.
at that.
Last year,
100%.
And last year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
killing it. Yeah, it's like the access to information, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
I noticed in the years that the internet took off that steelheading became something where everyone went from having a clue to bent rods, man.
Yeah.
Like everyone within the course of a year or two, it was like everyone figured out that for what 4-pound test is all about and what hooks to use and what to do to your
YouTube.
bait. And
How to
yeah, like it-
Photoshop the background.
Sure, all things. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
It just seemed like the learning curve for that. When I was growing up, we were really good at it, and our floats would drop all the time, and like we kept it to ourselves. I never told anyone how to cure a row or what bugs work best or when to use them, or like we kept that info, between us within some friends or whatever. And then it was like whatever year it was, it went from we knew it to everyone knew it, and some better than us, right? And then that's kind of how I think the bass fishing's gone the same way.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I just think there's a whole new wave like we haven't seen before. And I don't like how much it's getting blamed on forward facing sonar. And my whole thing too is like, let's look at, you saw Zaldane's video this week.
I did.
yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
post a link to it.
Yep.
And you see like guys have 4 and 5 screens. You can't compute all that information at one time
It
anyways.
was Brian Schmidt. It's
Not
got
well.
4 at the back and 3
But-
at the front.
That's right.
Has,
That photo, he was in Brian Schmidt's boat.
Yeah.
has the game changed? 100%.
Oh, yeah.
But I also think these kids are just really good at what they do too, right?
Yeah.
And I still think if you're like, okay, no live scope for this tournament, you're still going to see those rookies hammer.
Yeah.
They still know fish. They still know fishing. They still know baits. They still know where to find them. They're just maybe not watching their bait go down the fish, but they still know where to find them.
Yeah.
And I think that
I
some of the older guys are using it as an excuse.
think a lot. Yeah. 100%. And I can.
I think so.
Yeah. 100%.
Because the other thing, too, I want people to understand is you go online like, oh, all these pros get their electronics for free. No, they don't.
No, they
Barely any of them do. There's maybe a handful that do. All those guys are buying their electronics. Almost all of them.
What was it, Ike Canelli or something that weighed 8 pounds or something today?
Yeah.
And he was on it saying,
need
I'm
to
not
learn.
turning it on. I'm not turning it on.
that's what he did.
It's forward facing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you should.
I don't
Well,
know.
why wouldn't you want to compete?
Yeah. Like,
Right?
what's the.
No, but you're not doing your sponsors justice either if you're not trying to compete.
Yeah. 100%,
Right? So like that's, and he would be the one, like he would get them for free. I believe he has a good Lowrance deal. He didn't do Lowrance any service with their
yeah,
active
if you're not
target,
going to
right?
turn it on.
Now that's what I mean is like,
There's guys out there that
Dude.
are catching them shallow this week too that aren't
Exactly.
really using it. So at the end of the day, it's not really that. Like, yeah, it's definitely like if you look at a guy like Koyoyo, he's not out there. Like, you know how many fish you watch that guy screen? You know how many fish that guy goes past that the other guys stop and try to fish for and stuff?
and you talk to somebody about him, and they're just like, dude, he's that good. Like he's doing stuff. I don't know if it was Cooper, Corey. One of the league guys I was talking to
He's
back
either
in the
going
winter.
100 miles an hour
Yes.
on the trolling motor, or he's reeling in a fish. That's
Yeah.
what they say about him. And I've watched him, and it is 100% that. Like, it's going to change the way I go about it now. And I don't want to conform, whatever. But how do you like by watching that? I've learned a lot just watching that guy, man. Like he's gone past. Have you ever on your live scope yet rolled up to something that looks like 3 big blobs and decided that you weren't going to throw at them because they weren't big enough blobs? You know what I'm saying? Like he's got a manner.
He
and
doesn't
he's-
waste time.
He's got a checklist in his head that says, I am or I am not going to catch that fish, and it is or is not worth my time.
So he's using his live scope to the advantage of sizing the fish
That's
up.
what I'm saying. That's what
And
he's the only one that's maybe there's a couple other guys that are trying. They know the difference between a sunfish and a crappie, and you know what a good sized bass is, whatever. But like to get to that point, man, like that's pretty.
And
Time on the
pretty
water,
serious.
man.
Actually, it wasn't Chris Secor. It was one of the Daiwa guys, Chip Marketing or Casey. They were up here, and they were telling me like they take pictures of him in the boat, and they're like, dude, he has stuff and he's doing stuff that like no one's even seen before here yet. Like everyone's trying to glance in his boat, right? Because it's different. And they say there's another guy coming over. Can't remember his name. Another Japanese fellow, and they say he's even better.
Oh yeah,
What?
Yeah, they say like you wait till next year. Yeah,
really?
yeah, he's gonna come and do the like, and they say you guys haven't even seen anything yet.
So what do you think? You think Koya's going to win the AOI this year?
I think he's going to have a really good chance. I think Milliken's going to be right up there this
Yeah,
year.
me too.
Yeah.
Right?
I wouldn't turn your eyes away from Corey and Chris Johnson.
So I
Yeah.
was just about to
I
say,
think
Corey,
Chris is
Chris,
gonna put a push
Corey's gonna win Angler of the Year.
You think
One of
Corey
them.
this year?
Corey's gonna win Angler of the Year, and Corey's gonna get his first blue trophy, and it's not gonna be on the St. Lawrence. He's gonna do it on a lake where no one expects him to. I'm also gonna do another prediction. Cooper's winning the Classic.
Yeah, so I've been preaching this for since I heard Cherokee.
Cooper's gonna win the Classic.
Coop's money there.
I'm going on record because of
Yeah.
where it is
I agree, man.
that Cooper is gonna win the Classic.
And that
You
was the
gotta
first
remember-
place he saw his first live classic was Tulsa, Oklahoma. So how would that be cool
that's
for him
what
to
I
go
like.
back a few years later
Dude,
and win
Coop's
the
gonna
thing?
win the Classic. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, I've been saying the same thing for.
Coop's
whatever,
gonna win the
since we
Classic.
found out.
Corey's gonna win Angler of the
If
Year.
he's Super 6, I'm flying down.
Right?
100%.
Right?
We
I'll be on a
all
plane.
100%. We're all
Yeah.
getting on the plane.
That's
I'll be on a
incredible.
plane.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I would love to see it. That kid, he deserves the world. That kid, man. I remember when he grew growing up here and fishing against him and whatever. It's funny how there was like Coop wasn't the only. Let's call him a youngster at the time, whatever. He wasn't the only kid that was jumping in bass boats and learning
No,
from
he
some
wasn't.
guys or whatever. And there was a few of them that didn't have the best reputation, but Coop had, everyone's love, man. It's funny how that he grew up working at Gagnon's. I'd see him in there like I didn't know him as a best buddy or whatever, but I never ever walked past that kid and didn't say hi and shoot the shit for 10 minutes or whatever. It's just a good things happen to good humans, I guess you could say, right? He's a good human. He's a good kid. Like he's a good.
Yeah,
Loses a lot of phones, but other than
We're
that.
excited.
We all do, man. I can
I
relate
got
to
28
that.
pounds for 4 fish today.
Yeah, 4 fish.
4 fish, 28
Yeah.
pounds.
Dude, and his post today was awesome. He's like, something like, I only caught 4 fish. They were the right. And you can see the picture, and he says, pumped.
Unbelievable.
He loves it, man.
Yeah.
He loves it.
First time he was ever on Fork, I took him and Danny down there.
Yeah.
I said to his parents, I said to them, I said, I'm going to Fork. They're like, what? I said, I'm going to Fork. Bring money for food. They're like, what? I said, tell your parents to call me. And they called. They're like, you want to take them to Texas? I said, yeah, I'm going. So I'll pay for all the gas.
That's
I'm
awesome,
bringing the
man.
boat. I've already got the accommodations booked,
Yeah.
right? They're going to be staying with me so they can bring some food money,
That's awesome.
right?
Yeah.
And we went down there. Cooper got his personal best.
Yeah.
He got an 8 and change.
What's that
And-
kid's personal best right now?
Oh, it's
9:15 maybe?
No. He got a. I think it was a 12 or 11 or a 12 last year.
Wow.
In the January, he was down in Florida. Yeah, it was a giant.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
I remember that.
I've never seen a double-digit fish face to face, except for maybe Bass Pro Shops. I think there was a 10-2 or a 10-3 in the Bass Pro Shops pond. That's as close as I ever got to a 10-pounder.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
not
so.
me. I got a hard time finding 5s.
Yeah, it's not
It's
for
true.
lack of trying, right?
Nope.
That's
no,
for sure.
For sure. Sorry, I thought somebody was coming through the roof up here. I had to check on them. So well, man, I'm happy for you. Like, you know what, dude, you're a rad guy. I look forward to going to. I suck some away for this one.
There's going to be another, right? We're gonna talk about it.
Well, I probably won't be able to be at that one if I'm setting up the show.
Yeah.
To be straight up, but we will definitely love to. Man, I just love what you're doing.
Maybe we record one of them. You know, maybe that last one, and we can use that for some promos.
But we'll
tonight.
help
Yeah,
you.
well,
That's what I'm getting
if
at.
You could use it for some promo, like clips,
Yeah.
right? Don't give the show away, but
Yeah.
just clips, and you can use it to.
Yeah, segments.
This is what you're missing.
Yeah,
That's
like
it.
so, guys. Honestly, if you go to this tour, it is the most informative.
gonna learn something.
Was the most informative seminar I've ever sat in.
Dude, the secrets that were given up
Yeah.
there were just
I
insane.
went back to Greg the next day, Greg McIntyre at work, and I'm like, dude, it was unbelievable.
I'm gonna win every derby this year.
Oh man,
Right?
dude, I started ordering books on Amazon and stuff about freaking bass. I told Sean that. I did. I'm like, I'm learning everything
I
about the
think there's a
biology
lot
part.
to be, there's a lot to be said about bass biology and the decisions.
Yeah.
You already make a bunch of decisions throughout the day when you're bass fishing that rely on that whole science, but you don't really tune into it
Yeah.
because you're mute to it. You don't need to
Yeah.
get that in depth. But
Yeah.
it's the bass biology has taught me probably more than anything else. Like, how do you know? I could go into all kinds of stuff. Like, there's so many. Like, have you ever been on a flat when it's overcast? Have you ever?
Oh, dude, it was insane.
Have you ever had a bite that left you and you didn't know why? And the fact that a fish's swim bladder makes it feel bloated, barometric pressure makes them leave shallow water. Like, there's so many little nuances that I picked up on through the years that, like, those little things pay the bills, man. Like, I can't tell you how many, like, you're
but it's
in a
not
derby
just-
and you're first of all, when you're in a derby, the environment doesn't allow your brain to relax. You're always in a place where you're, agitated that you're not catching the fish, or you're trying to make that next decision or whatever. And like that whole thing where you've got some, you got some science to make some decisions. It gets you to a place where you you're making better decisions, and they're based on some facts, not based on how you feel or what way the wind's blowing, or there's all these things that go on in a day that affect your decision making, and a lot of them don't have anything to do with bass. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
your buddy forgot the sandwiches at the dock.
Ruins the
I
whole
would be
day.
I
I'd
would be so
mad.
upset.
You ever fished with Sean? He brings like burgers. It's awesome. I'll never forget sitting in the boat eating that burger in the downpour.
Cold burger. It was
But,
delicious.
but what I want to get like people out there is come to the center, even if you're not a derby guy, just make it's gonna help you make, if you're going out fun fishing, have a good day on the water.
We had
Like,
some
we're
bowling guys that came out that learned a
dude.
lot. I had a lot of back pats. I went to bowling this week, this week that just passed was the week after we did the seminar, and there was a dozen faces or so from around that environment that were there, and I got a lot of back pats from them. Even like, I didn't know this or that, or a lot of them were. One of the guys, after we were done bowling, wanted to come out to the truck and see. She wanted to see what these jigs exactly like. He wanted the good. Like, what are they exactly? I got these lead ones, and he didn't know, so I showed him a couple of things too. It's weird. The feedback I got from it was exactly what I was trying to get at, which was making it good for everyone first of all, but like having a little social where you learn something and go home with something is probably worth more to you than coming in 38th on a rainy day in a derby and going home and going, I saw Crowley on that rock thing again, and like,
Right.
Yeah.
then at the next one, you might see me at the boat launch and go, buddy, I've been fishing that thing for like 2 years, whatever. I found that, and I got one on one side. Is that the other side you're fishing, or what's that all about? Or you're like, I don't mind answering those questions, but what do you see me? What do we talk twice a year? And we're not getting into anything. Like, I don't want to tell you on the side of the creek or on the side of the lake or whatnot, but that's an environment I think that everyone can get something out of, right? I think so anyway, and everyone that's been so far has been pretty positive about it. I think the next one's going to be better than the last one. I got a bunch of stuff saved up that I'm going to share, and the topics that I'm going to cover on this one are going to be a little more.
It's only going to get better.
This one's going to be a lot more brown fish oriented with the likes of Brian Gardy and Mazinski. We're going to have some chats about some of the stuff that takes place up in Simcoe and Aurelia and Cooch and stuff like that, and we're going to have some comparisons to the Indians, man, because those guys are like a force to be reckoned with. You don't show up to Tri Lakes anymore and not worry about one of those guys taking your money. They take your money every week. Those guys they're flawless.
For sure.
The only ones that walk in there with their head high is Mr. Johnson and Mr. Johnson and Mr. Johnson. Really, like those boys run the show over there. I guess Josh can walk over there now and have a beer with his head high with his belt on his shoulder.
Oh,
he won the Ekbat Classic there with Steph, right?
Yep. No, the guy's a hammer, man. So, well, I mean, I'm just telling you guys, go. You won't be disappointed.
Let's pack that place.
Before we wrap up tonight, we got to get into a little bit of Can't Gas stuff.
What do you got?
Well,
Let's hear it.
I'm excited.
Is there going to be a social?
there's going to be a
Spill
social.
the beans, Kyle.
I'm gonna spill some beans. So you're in my personal space. Yeah, this is awkward. It's really awkward right now.
Yeah, I'm a little jealous here.
yeah.
That's okay. Back up.
Okay.
You want me to move over a bit?
Okay. This is why you guys are sharing a room. Okay.
He's small like me. We could probably do a queen, eh?
We could.
Okay. So tickets are on sale now. You're absolutely mental if you don't buy them early. I'm telling you. Okay. So here's the thing.
And why would you buy them early, Kyle?
So we're giving away over $15,000 to advanced ticket holders and prizes. It's probably going to be more than that. But here's the thing. The sooner you're in, the better your odds, because every day more tickets sell. So like, the first day we're going to give away a prize, there's going to be so many. By the next day, there's going to be way more.
Right.
So like this, like the earlier your tickets in, the better your odds.
Can you just win once, or is your name in for them all?
You can only win once.
Gotcha.
But like, dude, so we're giving away a Garmin Live Scope ice bundle. It's like worth $4,000
Get out of
in
here.
one day.
Wow.
Okay, we're giving away. Dawes King gave us a kayak.
What?
Full kayak to give away one day. A fishing kayak.
Are we eligible?
We have Goat Angling gave us and this is just some of them. Goat Angling gave us a charter.
Awesome.
We got prizes. We got $1,000 in Daiwa for a day. We got $1,000 in Shimano for a day. We got $1,000 in Bubba, our title sponsor, for a day. We got all the companies are throwing prizes, and we got some days that's just like a whole bunch of like jig makers, $1,000 in like tackle. We like
Holy cow.
we got Lou's giving us $1,000 in product for a day. We got, and it just keeps going and going.
And how do you
going.
collect these prizes?
You got to come to the show. We're not shipping. You're coming to the show. You got to pick it up at the show.
You'll
love
pick
it.
So you come and get
You
get it
come
all
and
at
get
the
it.
show.
So-
Redraw.
You got a ticket, right?
Last year was awesome because people were claiming them. 2 of them didn't get claimed, but we did some other stuff with them. But the point being is that they were pumped, man. When they were picking them up, like they were stoked. Dude, technically, you could buy a ticket as a raffle ticket and not even come to the show. You're in the raffles.
Right.
Well,
But
that's
you
it.
really should come to the show.
I can tell you that like I don't need a ticket, but I'm buying tickets.
100%.
Like, no
Yeah.
doubt. Like,
Dude,
That's what I
I'm
did
telling
last
you
year.
right
yeah,
now,
Yep.
like,
of course.
your odds of winning are the best odds you'll ever have.
Yeah, for $1,000 prizes,
Dude,
you're
let's
giving
say,
away
like,
an ice bundle.
15 of them.
It's
Dude,
what's the ticket?
say
18
we-
bucks.
You're like, yeah, all in. So, and that includes your show, your seminars, like everything, right?
That's enough
But
for the
let's say,
raffle,
like,
man.
we're not going to sell 5,000 advanced tickets. But say even if we had 3,000 advanced tickets, your odds are amazing. Like it's
Yeah.
not horrible. There's been worse odds.
Mm-hmm.
Get what I'm saying?
I've played worse lotteries.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
every Tuesday,
So get
Wednesday,
your-
and Friday,
yeah,
and
so
Saturday.
get your tickets. Get a hotel room the night before and come to the social.
Yeah.
Do not panic about a lineup. We got that so covered. That is old news. There's not going to be lineups. We got 2 this year. You're going to go in twice as fast, and you already went in crazy fast last year.
Yeah, last year it wasn't
Yeah.
even a half an hour.
No, 20 minutes. And this year, if it's the same thing, will be 10 minutes. And then if you come after 9:10, you're going to walk right in. I guarantee it.
I stood in your lineup the first year you had the lineup,
Yeah.
and like it was actually a pretty fun lineup. There's a bunch of people singing and stuff. There's some kumbaya
Dude,
happening.
that's- yeah, man, that's
it
what,
was
like-
right after COVID, right? There was the first time that everyone
Yeah.
got back together. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't just that you had the
Yeah.
show, but like
And that's
all
when I
these
got all
people
the hate
showed
mail.
up. Like every fishing personality in Ontario was in that lineup,
Yeah.
and everyone was joking and having a, it was a riot. We
Yeah.
sat. I was in your lineup.
One
for
guy
a
like
long
sent
time.
me a hate mail and he's like, it was so unorganized because of the lineup. I'm like, well, you
Whatever,
were in an
man.
organized line, so it was pretty organized
Yeah,
to
there
me.
you go. You know, it went
we
around the
couldn't,
back and
we
not the
couldn't,
front, right?
yeah, we couldn't handle the capacity, but no one knew that.
We just
That-
didn't know.
But the best part was I got so much like hate mail over the line that year. It was like the more you like
the best
challenge
hate
me,
mail.
the more I'm gonna. And I'm calling both buildings next year. We were like, let's roll. Like,
Yeah.
and it was we had the name CanCast picked up before we even opened the doors to that show.
That's awesome.
I pulled in the parking lot. Look at these 2 were like they're setting up. I'm like CanCast. They're like, what? I'm like, we're renaming it.
Rebrand.
We're done. And they're like, I like it.
I like it too.
It was wicked, right? And it was all about bringing Canada together and bait makers. And hey, I think we inspired a few people. We inspired a few people.
You
to start
inspired me, man.
shows.
I'm doing what I'm doing right now. I'll tell you straight up because
Yeah.
you guys are doing this podcast and whatever,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden you don't realize when you're doing all this that you're actually creating a bit more space for guys like me to have a say in some content, and you know what I mean. Like
100%.
I've been fishing derbies my whole life because I like to compete or whatever. I'd be lying if I said I didn't have a room where I kept all my stuff, and I like to look at that gear, man. I like if I'm feeling crappy one day, I like to open the door and go like, I did that. I'm okay. Everything's okay. Everything's gonna be fine. Summer's coming. Like summer's
Yeah.
coming. You know.
Winter sucks, man.
Yeah, but like
It's tough.
at the end of the day, what you guys are able to do right now is you're adding to that, not just for me, but like for everyone who's got everyone who's got a medal on their wall, for everyone who's got a trophy that they came 5th in the cancer for fighting. You know what I mean? Like for all that little whatever, there's got to be some of this, you know. And I think that like not to say together we whatever, but like if there's anything that you can ever, if you ever need anything from the Crowleys, man, you reach out. We got your back 20 million%.
Well, I appreciate it.
Thank you,
And
Ryan.
I want to also mention too, the show is wheelchair accessible. It might be some busy parts, but first off, if you come in on the entrance, we call it gate 2, but on the Mem Center, there you can go right in, and then we have a ramp that gets you down like the foot to the ice pad. Or if you come in the Memorial Building, you won't even need to worry about that ramp because you'll flat ground the whole way, even into the ice. So we have a couple. We've got that actually probably 3 or 4 times the last few weeks. Is it wheelchair accessible? 100%.
Yeah.
You call me, you have someone go to the front and talk to one of the girls, my wife Leanne or whoever's running the other building. You say, call Kyle, we need help. We will get you in your wheelchair in. We'll make sure you get through the show. 100%. We're there to help everybody. Bring your kids. Kids under 12 are free, and they walk out with so much free stuff.
Yeah,
It's
they do.
Yeah, they
all-
do.
Dude, they clean up.
Where's your alien this week? I didn't see him.
I know. So I'm still. I got to get some of those ordered for the show. Man, I got a lot of stuff to do.
Write it
Anyways,
down.
but there is, there's lots of stuff to do. And parking, it's not as big as issue. There's tons of parking, and I'm gonna know tomorrow, have another parking lot
Awesome.
right there, possibly. So I'm telling you guys, it's worth it.
No slippers.
No slippers, all fishing, and you know what? Yeah, there's gonna be points where it might be a little crowded, but these shows got to be busy to be successful for the vendors. Guys like Sheldon aren't gonna sit there and tie jigs all year to sell 3. They gotta, you know what I mean? They gotta go out there and do it. Like these vendors work hard. Vendors make this show, man. Like that's just every single person that's in there's a great person.
And a lot of this is the only show they'll do this year,
Yeah.
right? So come out and support them.
Yep.
I don't know if I said it before, but bring your wallet.
Bring your wallet. Everything's on fire. Come talk to some of the tournament series. See if it's a fit for you. If you never fished a tournament, go pick some of those guys' brains.
Come
talk
see
about
us.
it.
I'm going to be there. I'd ask any question anyone's got about anything.
He's
man.
gonna spill the beans.
Are you going to be at the shootout?
Yeah.
booth this year?
So the first year we fished shootout there, we managed to win that TOI, and Corey asked us at that point. He backed us up with the hotel. Like he took care of us for that, and to come to the CanCast and take care of the booth, right? So that worked out good for us last year. And I think it was like there was still a derby left in the year this year. I think we had clinched it, but he reached out to us early this year. So you guys are in for that again, right? We said, fuck, like absolutely. man.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that was the
Oh, I missed my button.
That
Yeah,
was the
I missed my
highlight
button.
of our,
Where'd it go? I
that was
lost
the
it.
highlight
Oh,
of our
I got
prize
it.
pool.
Here we go.
man. There it is.
Yeah,
If that's the only time you had to do that over an hour and a half with me,
Oh, I
sitting
missed
there,
it a couple
I
of
think I've done
times.
Pretty good.
I'm trying to. We got a little out of control in the last episode, so I
Yeah,
just won't do that ever
There
again.
you go.
No, but man, Ryan, I appreciate you coming on.
I'm happy you guys invited me.
Yeah.
I'm
So
flattered.
you know what my favorite part of CanCast is this podcast.
Yeah.
I wish we just do it. It's just like life's so busy. I just wish we could just hammer them all the time because I love it, man. Like I feel like I made a new friend tonight. Like it's just like this is sweet. Like you guys are on my level. I love it.
That's
You're my tackle bro.
You're my Get that
Tackle
close
bro,
pin.
Tackle Bros and Peter Bro. Check them out at the show. We'll have some of these cool hats Sean's wearing.
That is a pretty cool. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks again to Sheldon and Jacked Up Jigs, guys. Check them out at jackedupjigs.ca. We'll go in a little bit more depth with Sheldon at the show. Stop by, talk to him. He knows something about building jigs, spinner baits, all that good stuff. It's gonna be a lot of awesome people there making stuff. I mean, the vendor list is gonna come out in 2 weeks. I got a kind of a target date. I want to put it up.
Yep.
We have our reasons for withholding it for a little bit. They're obvious, but we're not going to post it up anytime soon. Next couple weeks we will. And you got to be paying attention to our Instagram because we're putting all the juice on there, even way more than Facebook. We're hammering the stuff.
When you start doing your draws for your weekly prizes,
Yep.
or your daily prizes, I guess it would be. What's your platform for that?
It will be on Instagram and Facebook.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so it's your ticket number. You gotta have your ticket number. That's what we pull.
All right.
And you got to check your number, and then you call us and we verify it.
So you call and verify, and you show up at the show, and you leave with something incredible.
Yeah, man. Like there's literally, like the vendors step up, man. Like
Sounds like a pretty awesome raffle you got going here, man.
Yeah.
for
$1,000
$16 plus your tax, like it's the best raffle ticket you could buy in fishing.
Like you're better to buy a handful of tickets
Yeah.
Dude, you
really.
could spend $100 and still have, then you'd have unbelievable odds.
Sure.
Like it would be, it's wild.
Yeah,
It's wild, man. We thought about this last year.
And you're throwing in a free show with your ticket sale.
and a free show and 3 seminars. We got 3
Show
seminars.
is free with the ticket.
Yeah. If you're a shootout tournament guy, Corey's holding the AGM there for all you guys. Like I was balling. Like, and when he called me about that, he's like, I really understand what you guys are trying to do. You're trying to bring everybody together under one roof. If everybody's going to be there, could I hold my AGM? And I'm like, that's brilliant. Like he's like you don't mind? I'm like, not at all. I'm like, that's what this is for. Like I want everybody to be there and be happy and no problem. And
The more
grow the sport.
the more you guys, the more everybody sticks together like that, the more this sport keeps
100%.
growing.
Like
he's got anything that have you heard anything about his new young angler program?
Yeah, he did. He ran it past
did,
me a little bit. Try to help out where I can.
I don't feel comfortable with the details in my head. I'm not as
Is it young?
savvy
Is it
as I
young
should be
bloods?
with it? Yeah, it's a program that he's basically utilizing to get some fresh blood into the sport, right? And I don't know the phonetics. I should have researched a bit before I brought up the subject, but
Well, I think one day we'll get him on here. I'd like to get some because we're always talking about tournaments, so I feel like we should give some of these tournament directors.
got
a
He
chance
would be
come
great
on.
to have on.
Corey be good. I like to see what Tim from Raw Fish is cooking up on his new series. Got some of the bass guys on here, maybe just to see kind of get us a little bit more in depth on what's going on at the club level.
Sure.
We got Huron Bass Tour also coming to the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a lot of we're gonna have everybody there, man.
Hey,
Like
do you know who Tom Hardy is?
Yeah,
of course. Yeah.
If there was if you're talking about guys that could hang with the boys down there, man,
100%.
that boy is a stick.
Yeah.
He's
He is.
secretly deadly, man.
Yeah.
Yep. Him and Luzak's a deadly stick. Too. I could go on for hours about my heroes in Canada, but that guy, as soon as you said that, the G Bay thing, man, no one's beating Tommy up there, man.
Yeah.
No.
No, it's Tom's a good guy too.
Yeah, he's
humble.
Yeah,
Good,
he's
so.
humble. He's awesome.
Well, boys, this was an hour and a half, and I forgot to hit the record button.
Here we go. 2 a.m., boys.
But yeah, Mark, last cast, buddy. What's on your mind besides your sap boiler?
I just want to wish Cooper the best of luck tomorrow, man. Go hammer him, little buddy. You deserve it.
Could you believe the weights today?
Unreal.
13 bags over 30 pounds.
How many?
68 bags over 20 pounds. 68, 20 pounds even.
Wow.
How many guys got up to the scale that said, you know what, I thought I did really, really good. I stand a chance until I started talking in the lineup.
Like 30 guys.
Yeah, right?
Unreal.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, I thought I was doing good.
Yeah, I think like 78th is 18 pounds.
Like,
Like
it's incredible.
Crazy.
Did you see
man.
Taku?
What a fishery.
Did you see Taku weigh in there?
39 pounds.
They said 30 pounds first. He was going, no, I had 39 pounds.
Wow.
It's wild.
Yeah.
All right, so good luck to Cooper.
Yeah, no kidding.
Good luck to all the boys, man. Go Canada. Canada, man. We got to be proud right now.
Yeah,
Got to be
big time.
proud of their team.
Big time.
The team. Yeah.
Yeah, man. We got 4 absolute sticks involved down there. I think, honest, this will be the best year. And I don't know, anything can happen. But if I was a preacher, this would be the best year the Canadians will have down there, man. Everything's lined up for him. The talent, like Coop's comfy. He knows what's going on now. Last year,
he
he might
does.
have had a bit of nerve. He's settled in, man.
He put a lot of work in for this season already, man.
Dude, he's just warming up, man. I'm telling you right now, Coop's winning Classic.
Yeah, I hope he does. I've been saying the
I
same
honestly
thing.
agree that too, man.
There's a few people that have told me that. We've discussed it, and they're like, dude, he's winning it.
I hope so.
He thinks
man.
he's winning it. Like the
Yeah.
confidence. The kid's pissing it.
Have
right
you
now.
ever heard of manifesting your future?
Yeah.
Yep.
So if there was a scenario that kind of led into that whole thing, like you had said about Coop and where he cut his teeth, he went to his first class, like that lines up pretty good
Yeah,
for the
man.
scenario.
Well, I hope he pulls it off.
Pretty good. Yeah, I hope
It's going to cost us a plane ticket, but hey, we'll be there.
The party would be absolute. It's like Gagnons will catch fire, man.
Yeah, it will be wicked.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Cancast will catch fire too, even though he won't be there because he is fishing the event. We'll make sure his trophy's there.
Yeah,
Right? Yeah.
His
Well,
parents will have to guard it, or his
have-
brothers,
you
but
might
it's
have
coming.
To, you might have to Tosco there with his
Yes,
Bassmaster
yes,
Classic
let's
trophy
not-
that he
True
hasn't
that.
won
That's
yet.
true. That Imagine that Canadians both win.
You never know,
So-
man. Tosco's he's riding the hot streak right now.
It's because of that kayak he bought. It's
Yeah,
full
you
of luck.
left it full. Yeah.
Left it full. I miss it.
Is it because you didn't utilize any of the luck, or because you did something to
No,
it?
I had actually a couple good derbies out of it. To be
Yeah.
honest, I really enjoyed the kayak fishing derby. You guys, I
I would love to try it.
I
You were
loved it.
doing well too.
I
Out
was
of that kayak.
I was doing well for my first year and whatever, and I just got busy and couldn't keep up with it. And then the sport kind of changed, and more guys were getting motors and this and that. And then it just wasn't. I couldn't. I felt like, hey man, I got to have a full rig to be competitive.
I'd
And
be lying
Your
if I said I
kayak's
wasn't
going to the
jealous of it.
classic.
it's going to the
it's
class.
awesome.
How cool is that?
That is awesome.
Anybody gonna see Chris soon? I got something for him.
To Tosca?
Yeah,
A
I can't say I will.
I'll just get it to him.
couple weeks I'll see him, but
Yeah, I need it for that. So, anyways, Ryan, last cast. Any final
No,
words?
I'm kind of on page with these Canadian boys. Let's
Yeah.
keep the focus on that, man.
Nice.
They deserve all the respect in the world. I hope they get what they deserve, man. That's
Spill
pretty
the
much
beans.
it. Yeah, and come on out, man.
Spill the
I
beans,
hope we
March
see some
20th.
More people, yeah.
Yeah.
Sean's hometown.
Sean.
I've
Yeah.
definitely got some things set aside for that show that like I'm hoping to explode some minds in the first hour. So I've got some things lined up for that I haven't really touched on at all, and I didn't talk about them tonight.
I'm just
Sweet.
grabbing the jacked up jigs that I want to keep. Hey, I want that one.
That one looks good too. Yeah,
I want that one. You guys can fight over the rest.
I
of
want these two right here in front of me. They
Yeah,
look great.
March 20th.
March 20th. We're 6 till 10 p.m. We're at
I'm gonna
Baltimore
put.
Johns.
I'm gonna put
Baltimore
one in the
Johns.
pail. Thanks,
on Highway
Sheldon.
45.
I'm taking all these and putting them
Baltimore.
in. This is
Yep,
all
dump
pro.
them in. Nice. That peel's getting
Nice.
good. We're gonna give that to a kid at CanCast.
Yeah, that's
Like
awesome.
a good kid, because there's like a lot of good.
Oh, yeah,
expensive-
yeah.
A kid is like
Yeah,
a
a kid that's
baby-
serious.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Sean, what do you got for me, brother? Give me something good. Lay it on me.
I just said it. March 20th.
That's good.
Yeah, no.
Come. Baltimore Johns.
Yeah,
Spill
Baltimore
the beans.
John. No, give me like a wise quote. Give me some life advice.
I'm not very wise. And
You
I
want a
don't
good
have
one?
very
Get the
many
Jamaican
quotes.
jerk chicken
Wings.
wings while you're there.
Here's a good
That's wise.
fishing quote for you.
Go
Okay?
ahead.
It's better to shit in the sink than to sink in the shit.
I'm gonna end it right there. I'm not even laying mine out.
it.
Good
Done.
job. Thank you guys. Season 2, episode 2. Ryan Crowley in the house. Thank you, Jack
Thanks for
Jigs.
having me, man. I really appreciate it.
Anytime, man. We are going to see you guys all on hopefully April 6th and April 7th in
And March
Peterborough.
20th.
And March 20th at Spill the Beans. We'll be there. Thank you guys for listening in. We love you all. Cheers.
Jacked up jigs, baby.